So we've already kind of familiarized ourselves with this bullet points narrative writing checklist, right? And we've made our revisions in these big pieces. We've elaborated more, we've added some more craft moves and developed characters. And today we're really going to focus in on the conventions, the editing, right? And so there's two pieces to this: spelling, punctuation, sentence structure. And I want to think, what does my piece already do well out of these goals? And what do I need to work on? Because whatever I need to work on is clearly going to be my goal for today. So let's skim through some of my piece. Just take a look at the beginning here, from about here to here, and just skim through it. What do you already notice I'm doing well? And what do you think I could be working on? I agree. So I'm already noticing that some of my dialogue is not punctuated correctly. I have some weird spaces in there. So I definitely need to work on that. I also need to include some different types of sentences. I have some run-on sentences, yikes, and I don't use a lot of commas. So definitely this is going to be important. I did do a good job at capitalizing and making sure that I'm not getting mixed up between your and your, there and there. And again, some of you also noticed that some of my verbs are not matching either the nouns or the tense. So I definitely need to make sure that I'm looking at my verbs, and I'm going to combine those two into one. So now I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to go back and I'm going to read my piece, keeping these things in mind. I need to use different types of sentences with punctuation correctly, and I need to check my verbs and make sure they match. So let's go back to my piece. And let's start at the end. I know it sounds weird, but sometimes when I read my piece backwards and out loud, it really helps me to focus in on the sentence structure. So let's just read this last sentence out loud. Type in an F if you think I need to fix something in this, and type in a great if you think it's already great. Okay. His tirade and rants were settling in my paradigm, though, and the passion, but or local involvement and awareness sinking into my bones. F, do I need to fix something? G, it's great. Yes, correct. Most of you said I need to fix something. So let's see here. His tirade and rants were settling into my paradigm, though. I think this should be settling into my paradigm, though. And then I take a pause, and it's a fanboys here. It's a conjunction, so paradigm, no. And the passion, but or typo, for local involvement and awareness was sinking into my bones. And I'm going to read it out loud one more time to see if it makes sense. His tirade and rants were settling into my paradigm, though, and the passion for local involvement and awareness was sinking into my bones. That flows so much better just by one comma. Okay, let's do this next one. Plus, Bumpa would always let me get a Sprite, too. That sounds about right. Let's do this next one. So for here, I'm going to have you type in an F if you think I need something to fix, and I'm going to type in a G if you think it's great and I'm good. My grandfather keeps talking because he could talk a lot and loudly and for a long time, and it was like half of my brain was listening, but the other half was just desperate for my sprinkled donut because lunch had not been good today and I was starving. I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this into the chat. What do you think I could add here? How would I edit this in order to make it even better? Nice. So you can already see I had to fix this verb tense. My grandfather kept talking instead of keeps talking because he could talk a lot. And then here in this little section, I just added a lot of little sentences to kind of get that rhythm going in my writing, right? Listen, my grandfather kept talking because he could talk a lot and loudly and for a long time. It was like half my brain was listening, but the other half was just desperate for my sprinkled donut because lunch had not been good today. Ooh, I even forgot a comma here. And I was starving. Do you see how I kind of broke the regular rules of English, but with these short sentences, it added so much rhythm to my writing? Great. So let's see. I'm now remembering that another one of my goals was punctuating dialogue. And so now I might just skim through some of this dialogue to show you how I punctuate. And if you remember, right, you need to have the punctuation is inside all of the quotation marks, and there's no extra spaces. So let's make sure. Okay, so here for an example, I need to fix this extra space, and now the quotation marks are hugging nice and close my words and the actual punctuation mark. Let's take a look at this. How do I need to rewrite no in order to properly punctuate my dialogue here? Go ahead and chat it in the chat.